Welcome to the T3 Awards. What is T3? It's my name, T-H-E-O, 3 letters after the T. As such, these are awards that I'm giving out to things I like. None of this should be seen as a ranking or a contest between people. This is me trying to highlight stuff I thought was cool this year and people who I thought did awesome stuff this year. I am genuinely really hyped about all the things that are going on both inside and outside of our community. So, should be fun. I'm excited. Don't give me too much shit for my picks. Actually, give me a lot of shit for my picks. You should. It's your job. Anyways, without further ado, category number 1 to get us started is, of course, Best Shitpost. Shitpost of the Year is a category that is very, very close to my heart. The quality of shitposts this year has been astounding. I am truly impressed by the entire tech scene, in particular tech Twitter, and their ability to make funny content out of pretty much anything at this point. It's truly incredible. I did not expect the quality of shitposts this year that we got. It truly feels like a 10x improvement from prior years, including the people who are actually doing the shitposts. Before, it was like occasional meme account, people stealing from Reddit. Now we got big names and brands doing some of the best shitposting I've seen. So, without further ado, let's take a look at our contenders for Shitpost of the Year. First nominee is Tanner Lindsley. For the shitpost, React should have been more accurately named Re-Render. Absolute classic, banger, immediately timeless. I'll be thinking about this one for a long time, and I hope y'all will be as well. Contender number 2. That is not the contender. This is the contender. Gruelang. For those that don't know the history of Gruelang, some people in my community started playing with the idea of making a programming language. The result was hilarious. This one went way too far. The quality of memes that came out of Gruelang, as well as new members of the community that came through it as well, is truly impressive. This is one of those rare, timeless, strangely impactful moments for a community. Very proud of the work that y'all did, almost making Gruelang a real language. Option number 3, I could fix him, from our good friend, Psychotic.
Now, I have a bit of funny news to share with you guys. It's not that funny, actually. My wife left me.
Are you kidding? Absolute banger. The only issue with this one is you have to have the context of who Tech Lead is for why this is so great. But even without it, it's pretty great. So, strong contender. Great work, Soy. Next, the tweet that started the chaos. For those who don't know, this particular tweet is largely responsible for the one-word tweet trend. And I very much appreciate Astro for giving me the password to their Twitter account so I could tweet this banger. Very proud of this one. Very proud of Astro for recognizing the quality of tweet I have in me and for embracing the shitpost more than almost any other brand this year. And the final contender, our good friend Madison Kana, with Everything Okay, Babe? You've barely touched the newest JS framework. This one hits deep. It touches on a well-known and well-regarded meme that was actually trendy at the time, the Everything Okay, Babe meme, while also bringing in one of the funniest stereotypes of the JavaScript ecosystem. Fantastic tweet. All of these are bangers. Huge shout out to Trash for reminding me about this one because I didn't have it in my list and I am ashamed of myself for that. Also, honorable mention to Trash Dev. The main reason Trash didn't make it in is because he has too many bangers, and it was really hard for me to pick one. But you can search min faves from Trash Dev, and most of these memes are so good I stole them and put them on my YouTube. So, high quality memer. I wouldn't quite say any of these have that same timeless hit that the ones I referenced earlier do, but if you're looking for consistent quality shitposts, make sure you give Trash a follow if you haven't yet. Anyways, without further delay, the winner is, drumroll please, Psychotic with our, God, how am I forgetting the wording, Jesus? I'm bad at this. The winner is Psychotic with I Could Fix Him. I have thought about this tweet at least once a week since it was made. I even replied here, this is too funny for tech Twitter, we don't deserve this. And I still firmly believe that is true. So congratulations to Psychotic. Very, very well-deserved win. Fucking classic. hilarious. Anyways, fantastic category number 1. So, category number 2 is best blog post. And this one needs a bit longer an intro because I kind of feel like I screwed up. So, for those who don't know, I tweeted yesterday, or 2 days ago now, asking Twitter for their favorite technical blog posts and articles of the year. I made 2 mistakes here. 1, I asked Twitter. 2, I wasn't specific enough. The thing that I was looking for is blog posts that go beyond the norm of a blog post. Blog posts that challenge what blogs are for and really bring something novel to the medium. I did get a lot of those in the replies here, a handful of which I missed. But what I didn't expect was the absolute pile of incredible articles from so many talented writers and developers. Generally speaking, you should ignore whatever the fuck I give an award here and just go read through all the cool stuff people replied with on this tweet, because there are so many good posts in here. This why we're breaking up with CSS and JS. I think I put it in. I don't remember if I managed to or not. I love this post. I'll be referencing it forever. The web's next transition, absolutely incredible. There are so many awesome things in here, and you got to check this list out, because I'm referencing less than half, and I'm probably not even referencing the good half when I talk about them for this. So, yeah, make sure you check out this list, because there's a lot of awesome things in it that I won't be covering, and every single one of them deserves the attention. This is an awesome set of blog posts. Before we get into the nominees, I want to go through the honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1 is the Practical React Query series by TK Dodo. TK is one of the hardest working maintainers and bloggers in the industry. The work he has put into this series in particular is groundbreaking. It says it was November of 2020, but that is kind of a lie, because he's been posting new chunks to this and new chapters since, and he's posted a bunch of additional chapters recently. If you use React Query and you haven't read through this, you should. And if you don't use React Query yet and you could, read this and then start using it. It will help you simplify your state exponentially, and it will make working in your web apps so much more pleasant. You have no idea. Really great article set. And his blog in general is full of wonderful content. Every time I read something from this blog, I feel like I'm a little bit dumber, but I feel like I was dumber before, but obviously helps you through that as well. Really humbling, fantastic blog. Check out his blog if you haven't yet, tkdodo.eu. Our next honorable mention goes to our good friend Nexel Schubert on nexel.dev. His blog is full of underrated gems. His recent pattern matching articles, phenomenal. He just put this out, actually. The type-safe database queries on the edge, also super underrated. He managed to get full Prisma-style type safety in Keasley through the planet scale adapters. Incredible stuff. Wonderful blog. The main reason I'm bringing his article up, though, isn't just how good the blog is, but because this is the article that debuted Create T3 app, which he originally built on his own to simplify the bootstrapping of his projects. This was an article that is largely based on a YouTube video I did about making a link shortener. And when I first saw it, I saw it on Dev2 and it wasn't crediting me. I reached out because I was curious what had happened there. Turns out he's a nervous fan that was scared of annoying me. I was like, no, hit me up with anything ever. Like, if you're this deep, that's so cool. And I looked at Create T3 app and was blown away. So this article really started a lot for our community and has a lot of sentimental value to me. Doesn't quite make sense in the goal of what this category is for, but I want to make sure Nexel gets some love because he absolutely deserves it. The web's next transition, I mentioned this one earlier. It's a long read, but it is a fantastic article. It does arguably meet my bar for something that will be relatively timeless, but it's when you see the ones that are nominated for the win, you'll understand why this didn't quite make the cut. Regardless, fantastic article. Great work to Kent on that one. Thank you for calling it out. And one last call out, Ryan Carniato has been posting gems on his blog on Dev2 for a while now, and they're incredibly underappreciated. Client-side routing one's incredible. Resumability one's incredible. JavaScript Paradox is great. There is so much good content on this blog, And if you're not already reading it and you're nerdy enough to be here, you're probably nerdy enough to read these articles and enjoy them. You should check out his blog. He just posted this one. There's even a shout out to Create T3 app in here. Fantastic work. He is about as deep as you can get in the world of meta frameworks and like JavaScript. So they're all fantastic resources. I hope all of you guys take a look at these blogs and enjoy them. But I'm going to hide my screen because we're pulling out the nominees for winter. The nominees for Blog Post of the Year for the T3 Awards are Lies We Tell Ourselves to Keep Using Golang by Faster Than Lime, Building a Virtual Machine Inside of ChatGPT by Jonas de Grave, The Grug-Brained Developer. Don't actually know who did this. I don't know if they even credit themselves. They don't. The Grug's a classic. Making the World's Fastest Website and Other Mistakes by Taylor Hunt, and Inside Framer's Magic Motion by Nan. All of these posts are, in my opinion, challenging the norm of a blog post in really powerful ways. The Lies We Tell Ourselves to Keep Using Golang reads like a soap opera as much as a traditional blog post. I gave myself motion sickness reading this on a 2-hour-long car ride. So good. Love this blog post. Absolutely hilarious. Even if you love Golang, you should give this a read. Building a virtual machine inside ChatGPT is challenging so many concepts at once. It's just phenomenally written. Great article. Highly recommend this one if you haven't read it yet. Grug-Brained Developer isn't even a blog post. It's a website that is encouraging simplicity in design and development in a very clever, goofy, caveman-y way. Making the World's Fastest Website and Other Mistakes. The title alone should tell you what you're in for on this one. It's such a journey, and it was a heavy inspiration for me for Faster Round and a bunch of other content I've made. I love the idea of pursuing performance at the cost of everything else to show when it does and doesn't matter, and all of the hell you'll go through in that process. This is a 5-parter, and it's great. And then Inside Framer's Magic Motion. This is just a phenomenal case study on how to do an interactive blog post, as well as super, super informative with every piece of info in it. Before I announce the winner, I feel it necessary to remind y'all, this is the winner of the T3 Awards. This is the article I picked because I personally got a level of enjoyment from it that is greater than the others. All of these articles are great. You probably like a different one than I did, and that is fair, and you should still flame me in chat for it, because the winner of the T3 Award for Article of the Year is Lies We Tell Ourselves to Keep Using Golang by Faster Than Lime. I love this article. It's so funny. It's so funny. I know all of you guys knew I was going to pick this one, but it's a beautiful article. If you haven't read it yet, the author is a platypus. You need to read it. You do. I'm sorry. This is war. I am sorry, Aiden. Don't worry. You're nominated for some awards too. I forgot to send you the DM because you're part of the awards I came up with this morning. Totally didn't add 5 new awards this morning. That would be absurd. Why would I ever do that? Come on. Anyways, the next category is Best Trendy Paradigm. This was a year of trendy paradigms throughout all of tech, both coming into and out of vogue. We saw Edge slowly get shut up about. We saw streaming slowly get shut up about. And we saw a bunch of new things appear too that vary in usefulness. I wanted to highlight some of those. There aren't really tweets or things I can pull up on screen for this one, but I did tweet the list earlier. So I'm just going to go through it quick, and we're going to nominate the winner. So the nominees are resumability, because we have heard resumability talked about way more, in particular by the folks over at Builder.io, in particular Mishko, pushing for resumability as the 3rd generation of web development. Server components are the new paradigm being pushed by Vercel and Next.js, as well as React, obviously, to make it easier to build server-based logic for your applications and to get data into your components with better loading patterns. Full stack type safety is the thing we've been preaching here. We've been talking about it a ton. The goal of making it as easy as possible to have your backend and your front end understand each other so you can move faster as a developer and ship confidently as an application. We've seen file-based routing become the norm in so many places, both through new frameworks like SvelteKit as well as Solid Start, as well as being introduced into places where we might not have thought it would fit, like on mobile through the new Expo router. File-based routing is very much a new norm, and we're seeing it stick. Also threw SQLite in here because we've seen some crazy stuff happen with SQLite this year, and I wanted to make sure it was called out appropriately for that. See a lot of people saying signals. It's 50-50 on putting signals in. I feel like I'm probably biased there, where I've been thinking a lot about and talking a lot about signals for years because I'm a nerd about Solid, and I don't feel like I saw as much of a jump in the conversation there as the other things in this list, where none of these things were really talked about as much last year, and this year they're talked about way more. I'd say next year feels more like the year for signals. Anyways, we have our poll winner, and that is suspicious because the winner of Trendy Tech Paradigm of the Year is, of course, it's full stack type safety. Come on, guys. We're the T3 club. We're the T3 crew. We're the T3 fucking cult. The type safe cult. It's what we do. It's what we're here for. Of course it was that. Anyways, that was an easy one. Next category is another one that I tweeted about. So the most promising work in progress category, something I came up with because of all the new stuff that got announced and started shipping this year. So a lot of people who are trying to take things that are the norm in the web dev world and really flip them on their heads and usually starting from scratch to rebuild things we've used for sometimes some of these things for decades. I'm super proud of all the developers contributing to these different projects and the different levels of our stack they are challenging in order to make our experience as developers better. I really think that all of these projects deserve love, but some of them are more exciting than others, and some of them are likely to be more disruptive than others too. The projects nominated for most promising work in progress are Bun by Oven, the TypeScript compiler and server rewrite in Rust by KDDev, Uno CSS by Antfu, TurboPack by the Turbo Repo team at Vercel, and EdgeDB. The winner of most promising work in progress is, yeah, it's Bun. Bun has so much potential to change how we write, run, and ship our JavaScript. It's also the only way Zig's ever going to get any attention ever. And it's cool to see Bun make two programming languages way more notable, and how it might make JavaScript much faster, and also how it makes Zig seem like a usable language. Now, for the next category, least promising work in progress. All of the nominees are the same. And the winner of least promising work in progress is, also Bun, because it's using a made-up language and you can't run it yet. I'm really excited still, but you have to be realistic about the bets that we're making. Bun is super promising and super risky. So be realistic about what you're hyped on, and I really hope they win. Next category. This is one I came up with a few days ago that I was really proud of. Most migrated. This is the category for services where the love has worn off. Something happened, or maybe nothing happened, and as a result, we're reconsidering our relationship with these things, and we're doing our best to move somewhere that might be better for us. Moving on is important, and it's essential that we choose the right times to do it. And 2022 was the year for a lot of these things. Let's talk about the most migrated of the year. Our nominees are Heroku, Twitter, US East 1, JavaScript, and LastPass. The winner of most migrated is US East 1. 4 outages in a year? 4 outages in a year. Seriously? I'm beginning to think US East 1 only exists to make an argument for multi-region so Amazon can charge companies more money. It's like a honeypot for tricking people into doing multi-region. Anyways, get off US East 1. If you're going to be single region, throw it in West 2. If you're going to be multi-region, do it carefully. For those who don't know, if you subscribe on Twitch or you join as a member on YouTube, you can link your Twitch or Twitter or Twitch or YouTube account to your Discord to have access to the sub-only channels in the Discord. I have a special announcements channel where I share things early. Sometimes I'll post new videos ahead of time. Sometimes I'll post all sorts of other crazy stuff. That's how you could get into the Advent of Code leaderboard. We also have a general sub-only chat where we hang out and talk a lot more off the cuff than we do in the other channels. And if you're a tier 3 sub, which means you're paying $25 a month US currency, then you have the rights to @ me in the server. If you're not already in the Discord for some reason, t3.gg/discord. Cool place to hang out. Come chill if you haven't already joined. Back to the awards, because we have one of my favorite awards next. The next award, Maintainer of the Year. I introduced this category because I've noticed a trend in software that I think is really important, and I wanted to call it out. For every hardworking innovator and inventor, the Theos and the Tanners and the Alexes of the world, there are at least 5 incredibly hardworking maintainers that take that idea and make it a viable solution. They're the ones who you see in the GitHub issues. They're the ones who are filing the pull requests that fix bugs. They're the ones writing the blog posts, working with the community, and really taking these pieces of really just concept code and pushing it beyond the limits to be things that we adopt, use, and rely on every day. I think these maintainers deserve more love and appreciation. And honestly, I've seen a trend of it this year, where a lot of the people who make the code happen and make these projects viable are starting to get more love. And I created this award not to rank these people, rather to call out the awesome work that they do. Once again, I would like to remind y'all that this is my award show, and these are people I personally like. And the winner will be somebody who I personally think did really well and grew a lot in ways I'm excited about. For every one person that we're going to discuss here, there are dozens of additional awesome maintainers I did not include on this list because I don't know who they are, I haven't interacted with them as much, or I'm just dumb. All of those are reasons why people aren't on the list. None of those are reasons why someone is a bad developer. With that all said, I am so proud of the work that everybody I'm about to list did this year. And I think all of them deserve a hell of a lot of appreciation, and at the very least a follow on Twitter if you haven't already given them one. No more delay. Let's show you guys the nominees for Maintainer of the Year. Nominee number 1 is Dominic TK Dodo, the person maintaining React Query, now Tanstack Query. We brought up Dominic earlier because his TK Dodo blog is one of the best resources for all things state management in React, in particular with React Query. I highly recommend his blog post, even if you're not a React user, because the way he frames thinking about state is super powerful. He's also recently started streaming, so make sure you follow him on Twitch if you haven't yet. Someone can throw him a shout out on Twitch chat. I'd appreciate that. TK Dodo on Twitter. He also wanted me to shout out his blog, which obviously I have like 5 times, but check out tkdodo.eu/blog. There is so much awesome shit on that blog. Nominee number 2 is Sachin. Sachin came out of nowhere to start contributing to TRPC, and he has quickly become the beating heart of that project. The work Sachin has put in goes beyond the usual bug fixes and maintenance for the library. He made a code mod that makes it possible to convert your TRPC v9 code to v10. And v9 and v10 are entirely different syntaxes and ways of using TRPC. So that is like massive, insane achievement. Sachin is killing it and deserves so much love and appreciation for the hard work he has been doing, making TRPC as awesome as it is. Nominee number 3 is Chris Elric, CJE. I refer to him as CJ because it's less characters. I don't have to remember as much. CJ kind of popped up out of nowhere as well as a community member and slowly growing maintainer of Create T3 app. The amount of ownership he has taken over getting things out is really impressive. He's a huge part of how the localization effort was able to happen. I'll never be able to pronounce Efrlik properly. I'm sorry. You're CJ forever now for me. Thank you for the correction attempt, Brainy, but I'll never pronounce a name like that, right? I can barely even pronounce my own name. Anyways, CJ's a phenomenal memer, fantastic contributor to Create T3 app, has been huge in keeping the project going, especially when all the other maintainers have to do their finals. And I've really noticed the leveling up of Chris in the community as a whole, both through his contributions and through his general like community management skills. Great dude. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of cool stuff come out of Chris next year too. So keep an eye on him. Next nominee is, of course, Julius. For those who don't know Julius, he is he is the Sachin of Create T3 app, and he's quickly becoming the Sachin of TRPC as well. Julius came in real early to help Nexel level up Create T3 app and get it into a maintainable, deliverable, releasable state. And Julius also helped lead the efforts for the new Create T3 app site. His hard work has blown me away. And when Alex first hit me up asking for people who might be helpful with TRPC, without even hesitating, I immediately said Julius. He is one of the most talented people in this community. The amount of ownership and effort he has been putting in is surreal. And I'm so excited to see the impact Julius has throughout his career. If you're looking to hire somebody that is a TypeScript wizard, keep an eye on this kid when he gets out of school. And finally, we have Nikhil. Nikhil has quickly become the right-hand man for all things Solid.js. I'm pretty sure he wrote the majority of the code for Solid Start. He's built his own clones of crazy things like React 3 Fiber for Solid. He contributes to Solid itself now as well. Had the pleasure of meeting with Nikhil a few times now at various events and hanging with him and Ryan. And I'm so excited by the work he's doing. I think he's essential to the success and the future of Solid.js. And I'm really proud of the work that he's been doing as well. These are the nominees for Maintainer of the Year. And once again, I would like to remind y'all that all of these people are awesome. All of them are killing it. And all of them deserve your follow. With that said, I do have to pick a winner. I think you guys can guess who it's going to be. But I can only delay so long. So, without further ado, Maintainer of the Year goes to Julius. How could it not? Like, are you kidding? The amount of times this dude has made me tear up seeing the incredible work of this community, it's insane. Huge shout out to Julius for all the hard work he has put in to making Create T3 app the success it is, and for helping TRPC continue to be accessible and grow in its success. At this point, anything you see him contribute to is something you should follow just because it means it's probably going to be a good project. Julius is killing it. Lots of love. More than deserves this award. I also just remembered something I forgot to say earlier. If you get an award and you don't put it in your Twitter bio, I'm going to be sad. I want to see a lot of hashtag T3 Award 2022 winners in y'all's bios. I want to see them on your fucking resumes. Who am I kidding? Seriously, though, Maintainer of the Year 2022 is a pretty baller title to have on a resume. Let's be real. This next award is Non-JS Buddy of the Year. For all of us JavaScript folks, there are at least 10 non-JavaScript folks. And even if they make up a disproportionately small number of my friends, they make up a disproportionately large portion of my heart. And I think it's important to recognize the hardworking people who don't write JavaScript as we give out this next award. Before we go into the nominees, though, I do want to call out two honorable mentions. Honorable mention number one is Tej. Phenomenal memer, phenomenal developer, and content creator. Just don't know how much he likes me, so I don't want to call him a buddy yet. Honorable mention number two is Talion, because she took a picture with Prime and Rocks and didn't take a picture with me. Are you fucking kidding, Tay? So honorable mention, not a real nominee. Anyways, the nominations for Non-JS Buddy of the Year are Kisaka Toriyama, the VTuber Catgirl, Primogen, the ex-JavaScript dev, recovered JavaScript dev is probably the better terminology, Bash Bunny, our only friend who writes Golang, and Trash, because he doesn't write JavaScript. And if he does, who wants to see the quality? So, non-JavaScript buddy of the year goes to... Of course it goes to Primogen. How can it not? This man is largely responsible for y'all being here. The impact he has had on my success as a creator and my life as a whole is hard to measure. I love this man so much. Seriously, Prime, thank you for everything you've done for me and for this community and for software dev as a whole. One of the few people who is, without question, making this whole space better. And I appreciate you a ton, man. Seriously. Thank you, Prime. The next award, one of my favorite categories, is Worst Name. This award is reserved for names that are in some way failing the role of a name. I think all of these names were selected for good reason, but some of these names have caused disproportionate amounts of pain to me and to my community. But all of them, we can agree, are pretty bad. So let's get started with the nominees for Worst Name. Nomination number 1, of course, it's TRPC. TRPC vaguely describes what TRPC does, but it also invokes the comparison with gRPC, which it's not. It is an incredibly frustrating comparison that has personally cost me days of time explaining why they have nothing to do with each other. And I've had to make multiple videos about it as well. Nomination number 2 is Partytown. What the fuck is Partytown? It's the name of the library for offloading scripts into workers. Yeah. Nomination number 3 goes to Quick City, spelt QWIK City. Sorry, Builder.io, but y'all have a chokehold on this category. Yeah. Nomination number 4 is React. As Tanner put it best, probably should have been named Re-Render. Nomination number 5 is EdgeDB. While it is a DB, it has nothing to do with Edge. And if it does catch on, I am not excited to have to explain that every single day of my life. And the final nominee goes to my favorite baby food, Solid Start. Seriously, Ryan? It's clever, but naming your framework after a baby food is very painful for Google searching. All of these names are things I'd prefer to not have to use. Without further ado, the winner of Worst Name of 2022 is... Wanted to say TRPC, but honestly, EdgeDB is just offensively bad, so it has to go to EdgeDB. Whether or not I want it to, EdgeDB. What? Yeah. Anyways, someone mentioned CockroachDB, and I think Cockroach at least serves its purpose. It's a database you can never kill. I think it's okay. Not great, but it works. The rest are rough. So let's start talking about the nominees for Best New Version. This is an award I came up with for all the projects that have been around for a bit, that a new version come out this year that was significant and inspiring. A lot of things we've been using for years now have been improving in crazy different ways. And I want to take the time to call out some of the ones that improved in big, bold, and scary fashion. Let's take a look at the frameworks and the libraries that had the biggest glow-ups in 2022. Nominee number 1 is Next.js 13. Next 13 was a big collaborative effort between Vercel as well as the React.js team in order to make server-side React a much stronger reality. This release was massive. It introduced a bunch of new things, most specifically the app directory and React server components alongside it. Very exciting new release. Really cool to see the work Vercel's putting in. Excited for a future where it's a little more stable so we can ship specifically the app directory, even if I have strong feelings about the file-based routing. Nominee number 2 is React 18. Very complimentary to the nominee we just announced. React 18 introduced server-side components and a lot of these asynchronous server data fetching ideas that make React powerful as a method for scaffolding your app before the reactivity part starts. It's the first time React has really thought about what happens before the first render and before the VDOM takes over. And it's a really promising development to see the React team thinking more about these things. The next nominee is Tailwind. And I also just realized when I was pulling up these blog posts that technically Tailwind 3 came out last year. So I'm afraid I do have to disqualify Tailwind 3.0, as exciting of a release as it was. The introduction of the just-in-time compiler makes Tailwind's flexibility surreal, but they are officially disqualified for this award. RIP. Most importantly, though, TRPC v10 isn't disqualified, even if we've been using parts of it for a long time now. TRPC v10 was a long time coming. Alex has put a lot of effort into this release, as have the 200 contributors, including a lot of the people we talked about earlier, in order to rethink the core developer experience around TRPC, both to make it easier to work with, but more importantly, to make it work better in large TypeScript projects before the TypeScript compiler starts to choke on the massive pile of inference. TRPC v10 isn't just a massive release that sucks to migrate to. It also comes with a bunch of examples, a bunch of migration guides, a bunch of resources, a Create T3 app being caught up to v10 before it was even shipped, the massive code mod that here it is, that Sachin created to actually mod you from v9 to v10, the interop function so you can run an old v9 router in your v10 app. The effort that went into this release goes beyond a traditional new version. And TRPC v10 honestly was ready like 4 to 5 months ago. But Alex and the team took their time not to get the code base ready, but to get the community ready and all of the other aspects around it. And I think they set a new bar for how to manage a big release as a library that has a lot of people relying on it. With all of that said, I want to make sure we also shout out TanStack Table. Sadly, there wasn't a good blog post for me to point at for this that announces the V8, but there is TanStack Table V8, as well as my YouTube video, Tables Just Got Way Better, where I talk all about the hard work Tanner and crew put into TanStack Table V8, which takes the TanStack Table, which is a library for doing table management in your web apps. V7 went headless, so it no longer renders, it just gives you data management. And V8 goes frameworkless, so it's no longer built for just React. The work that they've put into making tables a way better developer experience for every framework is surreal. And I want to make sure Tanner gets a lot of love for the work he did there. A lot of people are saying no Astro. 1.0 releases are not qualified for this. Those are new libraries, not new releases of existing libraries. The goal here was major new versions of existing stuff. Astro gets some love later, don't worry. Y'all got nominated for Shitpost of the Year. Shush. Quiet down. Y'all get some love. Anyways, the winner of Best New Version goes to... Okay, this is another obvious one. Yeah, we're giving it to TRPC. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? This is such a good release. This raises the bar for how to do new library releases, and I am so proud of the work that Alex and crew have put into this release. So many people in this community are a huge part of this release and will be largely impacted by it as well. And I can't not give some love to the crew working hard on it for all of that. Super proud of the TRPC team, and I'm so hyped on V10. If you haven't already checked out Create T3 app, it's the best way to try out TRPC V10. Really good experience. Give it a shot if you haven't yet. The next award is... Oh, this is going to be a spicy one. Oh boy. The next award is Moderator of the Year. This goes to the hardworking people in my chat and in my Discord who go out of their way to keep the experience consistent, clean, and generally free of porn. The only reason we have moderators is because when I was at VidCon, we got spam bombed by somebody whose account was hacked on Discord. And I didn't want to be the only person responsible for dealing with that. So I had to nominate a few moderators in order to help. We have one honorable mention here, Krish, because he was effectively the only moderator for a while because I made him an admin to help me do integrations on the server. And he was the only person there to do any mod work whatsoever for a while. I do appreciate you a ton. But I want to call out people whose identity is more around the mod side of things, not people who have the role to do other integration stuff on the server. Thank you, Krish. But we have to go through the other nominees for Moderator of the Year. The nominees for Moderator of the Year are Dev. I'll never pronounce your last name right. I am sorry. Dev quickly became one of the star moderators both on Twitch chat and in the Discord. He's been keeping an eye on things and generally responsive when things go wrong. And most importantly, he's always around. Moderator of the Year nominee number 2. Of course, it's Nexel. He's been killing it in all channels, really helping to keep the Discord feeling alive, and is usually the one on top of spam first, especially when it's in weird hours. Jacob Evans. Of course, Jacob's going to be nominated for this. Are you kidding? He's the mod. It's his thing. It's brand. And we got Roy. Of course, we have Roy in here. He's been helping keep a lot of the channels in the Discord alive. And generally speaking, is one of the most important people in the community. Really proud of all the stuff Roy has done. It's really awesome to see the hard work he puts both into and out of the Discord. And of course, I have to give Aiden a shout out here. Even if his moderator contributions are really bad channel point rewards, he did create Fossabot. Fossabot is pretty good. We have to give it some credit. We'll give him something. Okay. The winner of Moderator of the Year goes to... giving it to Fossabot would have been hilarious. Why'd you have to say that now? That would have been really good. Of course it goes to Nexel. He's keeping the freaking Discord alive. Thank you, Nex, for all the hard work you put into making the community as great as it is and being a shining star of what we're trying to do. Appreciate you a ton, man. Thank you for everything. Next award. So I got a really fun one next. This one's going to be controversial, but I have a feeling y'all will enjoy it. Editors are a thing we care a lot about in this community. The amount of debates I see about editing and different ways to edit, it's insane. I think it's important that we call out the editors that are the best and the not the worst. We're not doing any of the worst anything here. We're just calling out the best editors of the year. So, what editors are we looking at? Editor number 1 for editor of the year is VS Code. Of course it's VS Code. We use VS Code every day. It's become the standard. It's the norm. It's where you start. If you're not using VS Code, you need a reason for it. But it's a fantastic way to edit code. Editor number 2 is NeoVim. It's brought back the love of Vim in an incredible, strong way. And it is fueling multiple people here's content careers. Vim makes you feel like you're moving faster than you've ever moved before. And there has to be something valuable there. Great work to the NeoVim team for keeping Vim alive and getting people hyped on it in a new era. Nomination number 3 goes to Descript. Descript has entirely rethought how we edit our videos. Descript makes it so you can drag and drop and move text around in order to edit your videos rather than the traditional chopping video up in pieces experience. I wish it handled long videos better, because if it did, I would use it for most of my editing. It is such a fantastic experience for trimming long videos down, and it's an okay experience for everything else. Nominee number 4. Of course it's Mir. Mir has been keeping this channel alive. He is the best editor I've had to work with, and over 2/3 of the videos that have been published in the last 6 months come from Mir. He's a really strong contender on this list. At the very least, a big part of why the channel is still alive. And the final nominee goes to another very important editor who y'all know primarily through Prime, Flip Media. Flip's been killing it with the video edits. He even did a guest edit for us with the scale video, and he's largely made Primeagen's success as big as it is. He also does the thumbnails for Prime's channel, which is super valuable as well. It's important that I call out Des as well. Honorable mention because he's no longer an editor. He's an ex-editor. He's now, I guess, technically a code editor because he's doing code full time. Love you, Des. Thank you for everything. Des killed it. Appreciate you a ton. He really built the channel up. With all that said, this isn't about all of the editors. This isn't about past editors. This isn't about future editors. Looking at you, Igor. You better start editing soon. This is about the editor of the year for 2022. And for that, there's only one. There's really only one person who deserves this award. And that person, of course, it's Mir. Keeping this damn channel alive. Working so hard, so hyped on his work. Speaking of work, we're giving him a lot of work with this video right now. So thank you, Mir, for all the hard work you've put into keeping this channel alive. Innocently hitting me up a few months ago asking if you could edit a TikTok for me and slowly taking over the whole channel. Truly a shining example of if you bring value to people who care, you'll succeed. Killing it. Love you, Mir. Thank you so much for everything. The next category is #1 fan/content farm. This is a category for people that can't help but be around, and more importantly, be around in a way that benefits me. These are the fans that's mere existence helps me succeed as a creator because they make my job easier by providing me with lots of things to steal, repurpose, and otherwise find success from. These are the people that probably should be creators themselves, but for whatever reason, just let me steal their shit. I appreciate each and every one of them. So we got to give some call outs to the people who make all of my content significantly easier to make. So the nominees for #1 fan and unintentional contributor go to Dev. Thank you, Dev, for all the diagrams, all the advice on videos, and promoting my face for me on YouTube as well. Benton, the originator of Grulang and creator of many memes, most of which I'm ashamed of deeply. Trash Dev, because I literally built a bot to steal his memes for me. It's like the perfect testing ground for dumb, like, old school web dev memes. And if they go well, I just steal them and it helps us all out. It's great. Helps me more, but it helps us all. Igor, the clip machine, who single-handedly gets all of the moments for us from our streams in order to make my job as an editor and person who throws things on Twitter much easier. If you're looking for highlights of the stream, he's been clipping it throughout the whole thing. Literal lifesaver. Thank you so much. His sense of timing in like comedic clipping is so good that I really wish he would just install a video editing program because I know he would kill it as an editor. But I get it. He just likes this for fun. He's a dev. Igor kills it. Keep an eye on him. Also a great designer. His the manual project is so cool. I'm geeky about this. It's like such a cool study on like typesetting. He had old books that were hard to find online, so he made them really readable on this fancy website. Super cool. Love Igor. Shout out Igor. Next nominee is Melky. Melky is killing it. He has been going really hard on Twitch. He beat me to Excalibur on Twitch by quite a bit. He is experimenting all over the place with different concepts in our space. And I think he's going to be the one to crack shorts for us more senior folks. It's also a great way for me to know what content is and isn't working based on what he gets most hyped on. So I've used Melky as a source of self-leveling almost for a lot of the stuff I've been releasing for a while now. Also think he has a big year ahead of him too. So huge shout out Melky. Thank you for making my life way easier. You shouldn't have named your thing Astro Station because you didn't use Astro for it. Next, we have Maple. Because of course we have Maple. The amount of shit I have stolen from Maple is hilarious. Truly hilarious. Incredibly hard worker. Incredibly talented developer. Now working on Astro Build Core. Very good fit. The person who's forced me to take all things remix seriously. Huge shout out to the hard work Maple's done. And the winner for #1 fan and content farm is can't not give it to somebody putting the physical work in. Gore, I should probably be paying you. We should chat. Thank you for all the work you do, fueling the most important content arm, the short form content people can actually watch. That also helps Mir and myself find the moments for the edits. The amount of value you're bringing to us and the amount you're making our lives easier is actually funny enough that you should be paid for it. Thank you. Great work. Sorry, Trash. Didn't mean to snub you as many times as I do, but I do hate to say it's not over. The next category is, oh, I love this one. I came up with this one this morning, and I'm so happy I did because it is possibly my favorite category. This next award is Balls of the Year. This award goes to those who demonstrated an unexpectedly large set of balls in their interactions with me. I'm not easy to interact with. I'd imagine if you disagree with me, I'm kind of scary to interact with. And it is a small number of people who didn't take that as a turnoff, rather took it as a challenge and truly impressed me with their approach and the balls they demonstrated and how they engaged with me. It's funny because y'all have not guessed any of the people on this list yet. And that is fine, because I think y'all will understand how every person got on here, because each and every one of them deserves it. And I massively respect all of them. Parasocial, I have not decided if I want to share that story publicly yet or not, but now that you have, I think I have to. Fuck. Anyways, the nominees for Balls of the Year are Chance the Dev from the Remix team for very, very unexpectedly being down to come on my show and talk all about Remix while he was recovering from COVID and in a hotel. And not only held his own, but got me excited about a lot of cool stuff in Remix. Fantastic conversation. And really helped bridge the gap between me and the Remix guys. Unreal that he was willing to do that. It also killed it the way he did. I did my usual sending questions ahead of time, like here's the spicy ones. Let me know if you don't want any of them. And the ones he vetoed were stupid. It was drama stuff. He didn't veto any of the questions about Remix itself at all. Anything hard about the tech, even the HMR stuff, he was down to have the conversation about. Mad respect to Chance for being willing to take that on. The next nominee is Aiden, everyone's favorite reply guy. He has been challenging us in almost every way, most of which are great. And honestly, this hurts to say. This genuinely hurts. I have yet to find an Aiden take I don't mostly agree with. It sucks because we work on exact opposite everything, as far opposing as possible. But I've yet to have Aiden say something and defend it that I wasn't yeah, he's correct here. Even his use of going. So, yeah, shout out Aiden. He uses the opposite of our stack and justifies it better than anyone else could. Definitely give him a follow if you're looking to have some chaotic Kubernetes Golang developer show you the ways of the other side. The next nominee is Luke Paghetti. Holy shit, Luke. This dude has impressed me so much. I first heard of Luke when he did a reaction video to my relatively cringe why I don't use Flutter video that I've actually since archived because in retrospect, I'm not super proud of it. And there was a few things I was wrong about in it. Luke did a great response video to that video where he half agreed, half disagreed, made really good points. And then as I was growing massively, reached out to me with one of the coolest content ideas anyone had ever had proposed to me. We should do a live React Native versus Flutter code off where he uses React Native and I use Flutter. Are you kidding? incredible idea, just content wise. Like if you hit me up with content that good, I'm gonna do it with you. But the level of balls to hit up somebody who at the time was like 100 times bigger than him, especially on Twitch, and challenge them when he had never streamed before to something that big was insane. And it was a phenomenal event. And he ended up winning. And since has grown his own pretty solid Twitch stream and has become a great streamer himself. He's also gone deep into NeoVim and Helix stuff. He's doing more web dev stuff. He's been having a lot of fun with server-side JavaScript and TypeScript recently too. Definitely check out his Twitch streams if you haven't yet. Luke is killing it. Massive respect. I just realized I forgot to DM him to be here for this because I'm stupid. Oops. Next is Max. Max took on the challenge of debating Alex, the creator of TRPC Live, for GraphQL versus TRPC, not knowing that it would be in front of the creator of GraphQL, Lee Byron. Out of nowhere, within the last, the week before the event, Alex had to unfortunately cancel because he was having some really scary health issues and wasn't able to fly. So I subbed in last minute. I also had a video up that I've since unlisted for other reasons we'll talk about later, where I was very harsh on one of his projects, Bedrock, which is a paid boilerplate. Despite that, and despite my aggressive-ish nature, Max was down to go against me for the GraphQL versus TRPC debate that ended up becoming a discussion where we largely agreed. Massive respect to Max for being down for that convo, despite me being a total piece of shit. Huge balls on him for that. Thank you, man. It was a great convo, and I hope we can have more in the future. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Yep, I did miss one more. Final nominee, very important. Of course, it's Maple. I shit on Maple so hard when I first saw them in chat. It was not good. I'm not proud of that moment. I was unfair to them. And then not even just then, but afterwards too. But they stuck around. And I noticed them, specifically in the Remix Discord, contributing such cool shit that it was clear they knew what they were doing and then some. And when I see cool code contributions and cool community contributions, I have to keep an eye on it. I ended up reaching out, apologizing, and he not only was cool with it, but they actually started showing up in my stuff again. And now Maple is one of the staple community members, one of the most important people here. Mad love and respect for Maple for being cool with my bullshit and hanging out. Yeah. Love you, Maple. Thanks for being around. I genuinely have the highest respect for everyone here. And honestly, being nominated for Balls of the Year is a unique honor. I would put a nominee for this higher than a win for a lot of the other awards. This is one category I have a lot of respect for. I love each and every one of you. But there does have to be a winner. And of course that winner's Luke, the spokesperson of my least favorite technology, taking us on directly and being down for one of the scariest, the scariest possible, circumstances to do your first stream. Hundreds of my fans and 5 of yours watching your stream, knowing all the chaos that's going to ensue, and being excited for it, and killing it, making awesome fucking content, and becoming a staple member of the community through it. The balls Luke showed there are unreal. I have massive respect for you, man. Thank you. I really hope somebody gets a clip of this that we could send him, because I did not tell him to be here, and I am stupid for doing that. I'm sorry. Thank you. I added this category this morning because I was thinking about what I could give you, Luke, for the hard work and awesome shit you did there. Massive respect for Luke. Thank you for the shout out, whoever did that one. Appreciate that a bunch. You fucking killed it, man. The next award is Rising Star of the Year. This award goes to the people who have shown the most promise for the impact they're having now and the impact they can have over this next couple years. All of these people have really promising content and impact in their future. And I wanted to highlight how hyped I am about them, mostly so I could point at them next year and say, told you so, but also it's the fun category to do. And I want to call out these people because they're cool. The nominees for Rising Star of the Year 2022 are Dev again, of course. In these a lot. Madison, really hyped on what she's been working on. I think her YouTube career is going to be a sleeper hit. Excited to see that. Ben Holmes, for being one of the few really challenging the norm of short form content and how senior it is. It's one of the few people that's made TikTok style, like short vertical content that I'm really excited to watch. The Whiteboard Wednesday King, or Whiteboard the Web King. Absolutely love him. Definitely check out his content if you haven't yet. Nexel. Of course, Nexel's in here. Can't be that surprised. And Bryn Frecklebites, co-founder at Ping, incredibly hardworking designer and developer, also streamer, got partnered this year, has some fun content plans for next year. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of Bryn around these web dev parts. Just keep an eye out for Bryn's success next year. I feel like they're going to kill it. Quite the set of people. I am genuinely hyped about all of them and their content creation and other general impact. But one of these people, if I had the money and they had the method of investment ready, I'd be putting all my poker chips on this one spot. Y'all know who it is. Of course it's Nexel. Of course it's Nexel. Has to be Nex. He's killing it. So excited about all the things Nexel's been doing. The sleeper hit blog, that some of these posts are going to have so much impact, even if not from like people reading them and then immediately implementing them, but the things they learn from this stuff. Nexel is going to be a very important force to reckon with in this space. Unless they get bored of dev and go become like a rocket scientist or some shit. But like the only way I can see Nexel not being one of the most important developers in the next 5 years is if they get bored and switch to something harder. So please don't leave us. We need you in this world. Thank you, Nex. Love you. Don't go anywhere. The next category, this one's actually going to be a poll for y'all. So I'm going to get the poll ready quick. So this next category is a fun one. Deleted video of the year. This is meant to be a bit of a self-own. I wanted to highlight the videos that I deleted and call out the fact that I made them in the first place and the reasons why I deleted them. And also have a poll for you guys to vote on my best deleted video. I shouldn't say best because they're all deleted for a reason. Rather, deleted video of the year. The video that best captures the essence of a video being deleted and why it was deleted. The hardest deletion is another way of framing it. The nominees for deleted video of the year are The Biggest Scam in Web Dev. I mostly unlisted this one because I knew I was going to go talk with Max and felt a little unfair, especially since he hasn't been promoting it as much, and I don't have enough proof that noobs are buying it. I still think any template that isn't specifically marketed to seasoned developers is causing more harm than good. But this video being up was doing the same, so I chose to take it down. I did this on my own volition. It has nothing to do with other things I call out in the video. I still think those people are pansies. But Max, I have a lot of respect for. And I think he's doing his best to position Bedrock towards companies. I do miss this video, but I do think it's more responsible to leave it off. The next nominee is why I won't be using Flutter. This was one of my first videos. I think it was like video number 4 or 5 on my channel. And it was one of the first ones Adam edited for me. He also did the thumbnail too. Honestly, one of the biggest reasons I took it down is I didn't do the thumbnail and I want less videos that I didn't do the thumbnails for. But yeah, it was too harsh and I wasn't informed enough on the state of Flutter. I also wasn't this hot, let's be real. No shame in taking this one down. So that's why this one's down. I also have like a better Flutter versus React Native comparison video up now that I much prefer. So yeah, it's the state of those. React folder structure. Please stop overthinking it. This video was me being very upset at a WDS take suggesting different levels of file structure for different levels of developer. I really should make a different version of this video because I had good points, but they were bogged down by me being way harsher than I needed to be, and my jokey, I hate this, being taken in a way it wasn't meant to be. Because of that, this video is no longer up. Might do a fresh version of it in the future, but to be determined. A lot of it is focused around Dan Abramov's take of just move things around until they feel right. I also love the face I was making for this thumbnail. This thumbnail was phenomenal, and I'm sad I couldn't leave this one up, but it felt irresponsible and unfair. I think that's the 4. Oh, wait, no, there's one more. Oops, I started a Twitter trend. This was the video I did about the HTML on the, or tweeting HTML on the Astro account, getting a few other brands to tweet it, and a trend slowly emerging. I unlisted this video because the metrics were shit, like utter shit. And it didn't fit on the channel, clearly. People didn't like it. People thought I was being an arrogant prick when I was just trying to look at a trend I thought was interesting. And this video clearly was not getting the value I was trying to get from it, which sucks, but reality sucks sometimes. And that's the state of this video. So I took it down because it was doing more damage than good to the channel, and the comment section was a fucking nightmare. Might re-upload it or something like it to a different channel in the future, but yeah, this video is dead as fuck. So I'm putting up the poll. So I want to know what you guys think the winner is. I'll probably let you guys pick the winner. I do have one in my notes. Not actually sure what I have in my notes for the winner, though. Oh, yeah, I am. That makes sense. So let's take a look at the poll results. We can look at those together here. People really like the web dev scam video, huh? Why did which one get deleted? The one word tweets one? Because no one was watching it, and it hurts the channel to have videos that aren't like relevant to the channel topic. It's the same reason I put a recent new video on a different channel that we'll be talking about later. We have our winner. Seems like web dev scam is the majority. I did not expect that. Should probably give the web dev scam the win. I had the folder structure video for the win. So we disagree, but this isn't my category to pick because it's about my videos. So it's only fair y'all pick. So I'm going to make sure I'm not scrolled too far down and I'm not spoiling other things. I am not. So y'all can see me update this to overridden by chat. Biggest scam in JS. Y'all win. I have overridden my pick with yours. Only fair. The next award is for surprisingly still relevant thing of the year. This is an award specifically for things that honestly a lot of us thought would have lost their relevance, but still get talked about all the time, still get used all the time, and generally these are things that are still around. I think all of these technologies have value, and I'm not saying this to say any of them are bad, more to express genuine surprise that they're trending the way they are. So let's take a look at our nominees for surprisingly still relevant thing of the year. Nominee number 1 is MySQL. How the hell is MySQL cool again? The answer is Vitesse, but seriously, what? I'm genuinely enjoying my experience with like the oldest, scariest, oracle-iest DB. It's weird, but cool. Nominee number 2 is React. It's how has React stood for as long as it has? The time between jQuery and React is shorter than the time between React and now. How does that one feel? We're in a very long winter of React, and it's only getting more popular right now. Next is PHP, mostly because it's the fun thing to shit post about with your Lambos. I get it. PHP lets you write everything in one place and it's relatively simple. And the Laravel success of the last year has been weird to see. After PHP, I have Webpack because, wow, a lot of things are still based around Webpack. Even though there's been so much effort to get us out, still feels like a lot of things are deeply bought in. And finally, thankfully being challenged recently, is Jest. I'm not a big unit testing fan, but even if I was, I wouldn't be a big Jest fan. It was probably the right abstraction, but it was certainly the wrong time. And as a result, it is very painful to work with in modern times. And it's usually better to not test than to test with Jest. I have personally experienced a lot of code that I had to make worse in order to make it testable through Jest, and I don't think anyone should have to deal with that. All that said, one of these technologies surprised me more than any of the others. And of course, that technology is the winner is MySQL. Huge shout out to PlanetScale for the hard work y'all have done to make MySQL cool and fun again. Truly impressive. I'm hyped on it. Great work, y'all. This is a special category because I have some special takes. I am well known for knowing what I'm talking about, except for the times I don't. I would argue, and most of those times I do, but there's a lot of people who would argue against me. And I've had a handful of takes that have gotten me much more shit than they've gotten me props, and I'm ready to sit here and defend almost every one of them. That said, we're going to go over the honorable mentions first, so we can do what we did earlier and poll y'all to see what your favorite bad Theo take was this year. The honorable mentions go to pre-commit hooks are bad. This is an honorable mention because it's just correct. Not even in like a debatable way, but in a like the sky is blue, pre-commit hooks are bad way. So yeah, sorry. Inline CSS is good. The reason this one's an honorable mention is I feel like it's misunderstood. What I mean is that the patterns inline CSS allows as a developer to define styles at the lowest level is powerful, but the actual inlining of CSS is usually bad without something like Tailwind to smooth it out. And number 3 for honorable mentions is my perfect code is bad take. This was a short I did that's on TikTok and my YouTube shorts where I talk about how code that is perfect is often a mistake because of how much more work it is to make code perfect and how much better that time could be spent on almost anything else. That take did pretty well on YouTube and Twitter. People mostly agreed with it, but on TikTok, the comment sections are a disaster. That's how it got here, but I don't think that TikTok being stupid is deserving of a nomination for worst Theo take of the year. So if those are the honorable mentions, what are the actual takes? Y'all are in for it. Nominee number 1 for worst Theo take of the year is Don't Learn Rust. This video has gotten such a weird set of pushback and agreement that I don't know if it's a good video or not. I genuinely am not sure because the feedback has been so mixed from so many people. Obviously, the title top line take of Don't Learn Rust is not great. That's meant to be clickbait to get people who are unsure or are sure to click. But the feedback of the video has been wild, and I'm not sure how much of it's coming from the title versus the actual contents of the video. Nominee number 1 is Don't Learn Rust because it's a little clickbaity and it pissed off a lot of people, but it's going to be a big growth vector for the channel. Nominee number 2 is Use Effect is good. I have a video, I think it's actually titled In Defense of Use Effect, but generally speaking, I'm more pro Use Effect than a lot of people in the space. Use Effect is a very important paradigm in React because it allows you to build state and state machines around state rather than around components. And the life cycle has been moved from the component to the actual state. It sucks and it's confusing and it has some interesting behaviors, but the power of Use Effect is so incredible. And the things it's enabled for library developers to build is so cool. And the move from class components to truly functional components is only possible because of use effect. And as much as everyone hates it, I think it's important for us to appreciate what it enables. Worst take of the year, number 3. Flutter was a mistake. I'm still very willing to die on this hill, I'll be honest. Generally speaking, there are very few applications that are best written in Flutter. And unless you're working at Rive and making an animation library, or you're making a game and really can't use Unity for some reason, it's hard for me to recommend Flutter. But the Flutter fucking fanboys are something else. And I do not mean Luke. Luke is cool. There's a handful of these people that just, yeah. Sorry, y'all. No one's made a good argument for Flutter for me. It's hard for me to swallow, but people don't like that take. So it's going in the list. And finally, I know this is going to be a lot of yours favorite. Unit testing sucks. My take was specifically titled, Why I Don't Unit Test. And I feel like a lot of people missed the I in that video because it was about me and my reasons for not unit testing my applications. The video was not meant to be why no one should unit test. It was meant to be why many circumstances, specifically such as mine, unit testing does not provide much value. And this idea of 100% code coverage, all the things, is kind of bad. The video, because of the title and people not even reading the I in the title, has resulted in some of the most chaotic pushback I've gotten in my career. So wanted to call that one out here too. It's also, to be fair, been a huge boost for my career and a big part of where a lot of my viewership came from initially when I had my debate on it with Primogen. So with that all said, I have now started the poll. Let's keep an eye on this guy as y'all vote for your favorite worst Theo take. Of course, y'all picked Don't Learn Rust. It was closer than I expected. I did not expect that vote to be as close as it is. I picked a different winner. Let me make sure I'm not spoiling categories again. My pick was number 2, the unit testing. Unit testing is the one that started the channel. I still think it's the better one. But again, y'all pick my worst take, not me. The chat has spoken. Worst take of the year has been overridden as Don't Learn Rust. The next category is Cat of the Year. There have been some awesome cats around the channel lately. Obviously, I have mine, but there's a few others too. And I want to make sure all of these cats have a fair shot at Cat of the Year. Cat number 1, let me grab him, is obviously Murphy. My lump, my fatty, the love of my life, who I absolutely can't stand. The reason that half my streams are late, the reason that I'm always angry. He is an absolute terror, and I love him more than anything. Other than another one of the nominees, who I'm going to go grab. Give me one moment to find him. The next nominee is Miles. The sweet one. My tiny son. We match now because of the hair. Much smaller, much kinder, much more confused. Cat number 3 is the one clip I couldn't find. My old VTuber cat buddy. Sadly, I couldn't find a clip quickly enough, but for those who are real OGs, you might remember my little black cat that would sit in the corner with me while I streamed, play Minecraft. That kitty is definitely up in the running here. Has to be. Nominee number 4. Very important individual. Our good friend Alex, the creator of TRPC, always known as Cat, K-A-T-T. Obviously, he's in the running for Cat of the Year. And one last nomination, Kisaka, Cat Girl. I don't know why she's in here. Technically, cat enough. It's in her bio. Whatever. The winner goes to... This is an obvious one. Of course it's Miles. It's the best. The winner have anything to say about your victory? Anything else? That's it? What a way with words. The next award is Best Out of Orbit Meme. This is an award dedicated to the memes that came from well outside of the community, that had impact well outside of the community. Things that, to be frank, I'm meaningfully involved in, but are just kind of out of nowhere, that make no sense. Like just absolute chaos. So, of those memes, what were the best? Let's take a look at our nominations. Nomination number 1, I can find the clip that was sent by our friend Glassy. Hopefully this one is correct.
Have a really high velocity of features. I think the...
Oh, this is tag. Oh shit. Oh, just dick rode you so hard. Sorry.
Clip number 1 is Destiny, the streamer on YouTube, accidentally dick riding me when he was saying I'm the only person in the space who knows what they're talking about, knowing I was going to come on the stream later. Play it again.
Oh, this is tag. Oh shit.
Let's get back a little further.
As possible. But what you want to do is you want to make the velocity of features as high as possible.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think, frankly, if you want to have a really high velocity of features, I think the...
Oh, this is tag. Oh shit. Oh, just dick rode you so hard. Sorry.
Yeah. The reason this one's coming up is my name there is T3GG, and he read that as Teg. So this nominee is for Teg. Great meme. I guess Teg's my new nickname. We'll take it. The Teg stack. God damn it. Nominee number 2 is Ass.Cleaning. This Ass.Cleaning clip is on Twitter, or is on Twitter. It's on LinkedIn because Eric Way, the co-founder of Carrot, posted it as an example of viral marketing success. For those who don't know, I bought the domain Ass.Cleaning and gave it to Ludwig, the streamer and YouTuber, for his bidet company. We can watch this clip too.
I will say, I got to shout out Theo, aka creator of ping.gg, aka ex-Twitch staff, who gave me the URL for my bidet, ass.cleaning. Come on. Bro, come on. That's amazing. That's amazing. Look, this is what we've already Otto's already connected, so it's all working out right now. But
yeah, I made the webpage literally just say, please claim this Ludwig. DMs are open with my URL or with my Twitter handle, and they ended up putting it on a billboard. I couldn't find a screenshot of that quickly, but it is on a billboard, or was on a billboard in New York City for a bit. I got a domain put in fucking New York City. Pretty proud of that one. Great moment. Ass.Cleaning. Quite the meme. Out of Orbit meme number 3. Of course, it was briefly referenced earlier.
If Twitter can accurately recommend tweets to you that you don't explicitly follow, it can by the same token also show ads that are relevant to you.
So the way that a lot of platforms do ad sales and a lot of like purchasers expect ads isn't necessarily I'm going to give you these ads and I trust you to serve them to the right people. It's usually almost the opposite, where it's I want to target this group of people in this region who went to a Jiffy Lube in the last 72 days. That level of micro-targeting is something a lot of ad buyers now expect. And like, it's a huge part of how CPMs can get so high on platforms like YouTube. But sometimes these advertisers will serve entirely different versions of the same ad to different demographics.
Can you turn this guy off, please? He's just talking nonsense. Thanks. I've actually talked to the advertisers.
A new timeless classic, Theo talking nonsense Brown. Yeah. This one speaks for itself. I did see somebody shared in chat what looks like it is the billboard. And also, I'll give some credit to Dev. I found the domain. I was 50-50 on buying it. Dev mentioned that Ludwig might be able to use it for his bidet company. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'll go buy it, and then bought it. Well, here they are. Carrot sponsored bidet ad in New York City with the beautiful domain I purchased for them. So I actually proposed the www because they were concerned people wouldn't know ass.cleaning was a URL. They were going to do HTTP for it. And I was like, that looks like shit. Just do www. It'll work. And that's what they did, and it worked. The final nominee for Out of Orbit Meme of the Year is Sasha Grey. Somehow Sasha Grey, I mean, I know how she followed me because of the space I did on the death of Twitch. And she's just so on top of her shit. She's like very skilled audiophile, really into audio gear stuff, knows a ton about gear in general and like setting up streams for success, and clearly is into the streaming meta enough to discover me and like follow me, but also has generally insightful replies on things where like I say something like this and she replies, and it's just too funny to not say things back. Like, yeah. Sasha's also a DJ. She's a streamer. She's killing it. She's very talented, regardless of her past, and her past also required talent. But yeah, she's killing it. Yeah, I was very proud of my reply here, but generally, like, Sasha just popping up has been hilarious and super cool and quite the flex. So those are the nominees for Out of Orbit Meme of the Year. I do feel like this one deserves a poll as well. I know it's going to win, but I do think it deserves the poll. Poll is started. I may or may not have made a new YouTube channel, or Theo Rants, to post my Elon video that I edited myself. So there may or may not be a new Theo channel for talking about things like that. And I may or may not have just shared the link in chat. So if you do or don't want to watch a second Theo channel, you want to be there early, might be a good way to get there. So it does look like Talking Nonsense is the winner. Pretty sure that's what I put in as well. Let me check my notes. It wasn't. I put ass cleaning. I don't even remember why I put that. I think I had a justification for it, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah. Talking Nonsense is overriding that. The next award is for Debate of the Year. This is an award for the different debates I did with other personalities and creators in the space. I have 4 nominees for this category. The first nomination is Theo versus Prime. Okay, there's 2 Theo versus Prime nominees. Nominee number 1 is the unit test debate. Nominee number 2 is the learning Rust debate we had like impromptu on stream a few weeks ago. I think both are really strong contenders, and both were great conversations. Debate number 3 is Theo versus Alex Russell, the debate about the viability of single-page apps and React that we did a few weeks ago through Real World React. It's on the RW React YouTube channel. And debate number 4 was Theo versus Max, the TRPC versus GraphQL debate. I'm actually going to do a last-minute change because I'm not happy with my answer because I've been thinking about this one a lot. I would like to announce the winner for this award for Debate of the Year goes to... I forgot I have the wrong answer written here because I just changed it. The winner is the unit test debate with Prime. That debate kickstarted my career as a creator that wasn't just the guy who interviewed Dan Abramov. It, like, if you look at my YouTube metrics, you look at my Twitch metrics, you look at everything, it started there. And I owe Prime forever for having that convo, and I owe y'all for sticking around since. So thank you all. Thank you, Prime. It's a great conversation, and I still think people unit test too much. The next category is a personal favorite, an essential for the success of the channel. This category is Orbiter of the Year. An orbit is defined as something that's motion and trends are based on something else. Usually that it is orbiting in circular fashion. In this sense, it's used to describe the people who are around a little bit too much and have a largely symbiotic relationship where they are gaining momentum from me and I'm gaining more orbit from them. Orbiters are an essential part of my success as a creator and of the building of the community. And I am pretty certain all or almost all of y'all are here watching right now because that's the role of a good orbiter, is to always be here. So let's go over the nominees for Orbiter of the Year. Orbiter nomination number 1 goes to Christian. Of course it goes to Christian. He's a day 1 orbiter. He's been here since last year, but he's been killing it this year. Very well-deserved nominee for Orbiter of the Year. Nomination number 2 goes to Jacob, because of course, his Twitter spaces are where a lot of my history and start in the space came from. And obviously, he has now done a great job of taking a lot of ideas and audience and general advantage of the space we've created here to make awesome stuff. He also asked me to shout out his Discord, the OSRG Discord, which I believe has a link on osrg.t3.gg, which I rebuilt. Good times. Shout out Jacob. Also his Dungeons and Dragons streams for those who like Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm not one of. Next is Dev. Of course, Dev's nominated for this. We've heard his name enough times today. You don't need an explanation. He's fucking used my face for thumbnails. Like, he's as orbity as they come. Trash Dev, because of course, Trash is always around. Good dude. And now, final nominee, it's Kisa. Of course it is. Half her audience is y'all now. Whenever I show up in her chat, I recognize everybody. It's like, oh, I recognize y'all from my chat. Y'all just hang out here now. Really? Okay. Without further ado, the winner, Orbiter of the Year, goes to Dev. Of course it goes to Dev. He's building the whole career off me. He's killing it. Congrats, Dev. Don't think anyone else stood a chance. And I think you knew that too, judging by your replies about this throughout the day. The strongest orbit. Kisa, you're like my Jupiter. Dev's my Mars. Or Mercury. Which one's the really close one? Mercury, right? Yeah. Whichever one's like basically touching the sun. The next award that I just made up on the spot, and I'll let y'all poll for the winner here, is Most Snubbed. Who has been absolutely wrecked, totally fucked, treated unfairly by these awards so far. These are all people who have been nominated, some who technically haven't been. And I want y'all to decide who has been snubbed the most. Mostly because Trash deserves an award of some form. I think it'd be really funny to snub him from this too. So the nominees are Jacob MG Evans, the Spaces host that started it all. Trash, because of course Trash. Aiden, the creator of Fossabot. And Talion, because she didn't even get nominated for non-JS friend for the picture thing. So we're going to do a quick poll. Most snubbed. Yes, guys, this is your opportunity. You could snub Trash one final time. Your choice, guys. Do we let Trash have a win? Or do we snub him? Well, everybody's voting Aiden just because he was the most voted at the start, and they'll do anything other than let Trash win. If Trash gets snubbed for most snubbed, would that make him the most snubbed? To be determined. The most snubbed of most snubbed, for sure, but not necessarily the most snubbed. Otherwise, he would have won most snubbed. Duh. Most snubbed. Yep. Whoever gets the least votes is actually the most snubbed. So Talion's getting fucked right now. I also just realized how funny it is that Aiden specifically is going to beat him out. Kisa, you're getting paid. Hush. I'm sorry, Kisa. I thought of putting you in, but thought it'd be funnier if I didn't. Love all my orbiters, some more than others. You didn't, but I'm paying her because she's my manager. She runs my channel now. Poor thing. Poll ended and Aiden wins. I am sorry, Trash. The most snubbed award for the T3 Awards 2022, the last minute edition, goes to Aiden Wallace Dev, the creator of Fossabot. Sorry, Trash. Non-Aideners in shambles. Thankfully, we're all Team Aiden here. Also, if you're not following Aiden for some reason, he is actually a very entertaining streamer, and I do highly recommend it. Fantastic dev streamer. Builds a lot of the things I don't want to, which makes it even more fun. The next award is for Unexpected Flip of the Year. This award is focused on projects that made some big change that surprised me, and probably the rest of us, in a meaningful way. This is for projects that, through these changes, have potentially altered their trajectory, or at the very least, my own hype around them. All of these projects gained a lot of positive sentiment from me after making these changes. We'll see where they end up. The Unexpected Flip of the Year nominees are, number 1, the Remix type safety pull request being merged. There was a lot of effort to add type safety to the loaders and mutations, actions as they call them, within Remix. There was a lot of pushback because nothing's type safe over the wire and you can't trust the networks. I think that's all fucking bullshit because they're just making the type any anyways. No one's validating on both sides. Don't pretend they're going to and lie about the types in transit. Thankfully, they accepted this, and after PRs were filed by everybody PRs and issue comments and discussion was done from everybody from Colin, I always forget his last name. He's Colin Hacks on Twitter, the creator of Zod and one of the original creators of TRPC. From our favorite Maple hopping in after creating lots of gists on how to do type safety in Remix, helping it get mainlined. Obviously, Matt Pockett was there as well. Such an awesome crew of TypeScript advocates got Remix to merge type safety. Unexpected Flip of the Year nominee number 2 goes to React Learning Async. After the proposals I saw for React server components, I was frustrated because none of them did what I wanted to do and what I thought made the most sense, which is await some server data and render it in the JSX. Sadly, React didn't acknowledge that in the first proposal for React server components. Thankfully, as you see in my video, they fixed React. They fixed this. And now an async component is a server component, and it gives you the ability to do whatever the hell you want on the server side. Very powerful new pattern. I'm very excited to see how it is adopted and used throughout the web dev world. And it's a huge change for the React team to go from ignoring the async standard or not embracing it at all to just fully building React server components on top of async await. Very unexpected flip, very cool change, very hyped on what the React team is doing there. Unexpected flip nominee number 3 goes to Deno for fully embracing NPM support. I did not think this would ever happen. NPM's one of the biggest things Deno was built to get away from. And out of nowhere, Deno fully supports NPM. There's a bunch of blog posts and cool information about this online. Definitely go check that out. I haven't tried the Deno NPM support yet, so I am very curious what it's like. But generally speaking, they're promising a massive layer of compatibility there. And so far, I haven't heard anything too bad about it, so it's probably working well. Very cool to see. The final nominee for Unexpected Flip of the Year goes to Vercel for not mentioning Edge except for in the OG image generation stuff for the entire keynote and main chunk of the Next.js conference this year. Vercel basically did not talk about Edge at all and focused entirely on the developer experience side of things because I guess they don't think Edge is as hot a topic at the moment. And it seems to have largely simmered down the conversation as a result. I never thought Vercel would shut up about Edge, but they did. Very hard. They're still supporting it. They're still building on it. I'm still using Vercel Edge for lots of cool things. But Vercel themselves at NextConf basically did not mention Edge once. Of these nominees, there is one winner, though. And the winner of Unexpected Flip of the Year goes to Deno, however the fuck you want to pronounce it. Deno adding support for NPM was incredibly unexpected. It is a huge change for the entire ecosystem of JavaScript to see that go through. Genuinely really excited for what the Deno team's working on and to use it for more stuff in the future. I used it for Advent of Code every day this year, every December 1st, 25th this year. It is it is clearly improving a lot of the developer experience. But I am excited to see it supported better, so in the future we can reasonably start to see Deno shipped in production more and more places, more and more companies, and by more and more developers. Great work, Deno team. Super excited to see those changes. The next award category is Best Non-JS Tech of the Year. I'm going to pull up all of these because I think these are worth having on screen. The nominees for Non-JS Tech of the Year are Leptos, the truly reactive signal-based web application framework in Rust. It's meant to feel like Solid, but in Rust. Very cool framework. Really excited about the hard work going on here. I know that, how do I always forget Greg's name? I know Greg's been working super hard on this and the result's incredible. Nominee number 2 is SWC. It is an alternative to, I guess, Webpack. Generally more Babel, but for transforming your JavaScript in whatever form into minified, ready for the web JavaScript written in Rust, similar to ESBuild, but this is the direction that Vercel went in. They hired the lead developer, KDY, to work on this, and the result's been SWC adoption going through the roof. It's a very promising way to compile your web stuff very fast, and also Rust, which people seem to love. The next nomination goes to ChatGPT. I don't need to introduce ChatGPT. This changes everything. It's a really cool interface on top of AI that makes it more accessible to people who AI was never accessible to before. Finally, last nominee for Non-JS Tech of the Year goes to NeoVim, because y'all won't shut up about it, and it seems like people are enjoying it. It's only fair to call out NeoVim for the hard work they've done making non-VS Code based editors more well embraced in the community, and seeing Vim have a true comeback is cool to see. Those are the nominees for Non-JS Tech of the Year. Not going to do a vote for this one. I'm sorry. If y'all want to shout and chat what you think should win, feel free, so I can know if I fucked up, because I picked a winner. And the winner I picked is ChatGPT. It's too good. It's going to change everything. The very least, the trajectory of my YouTube channel, but more importantly, the relationship all of us have with computers. It's so cool. I will say this is one of the hardest categories for me to pick. I was genuinely torn between ChatGPT and Leptos. I feel like both are massive winners in this category, but in almost opposite ways, where Leptos is uniquely cool in how it understands the web, but approaches it from a very different direction by being Rust, but the future, like web's already going in the direction of Solid. Rust is being introduced in that direction. It really shows an understanding of the direction of the web. ChatGPT makes all of this new technology around AI accessible to people it was never accessible to before. The implications this has on so many fields is unreal. So just by raw impact, ChatGPT has to win, which is why I gave the win here. But I do think Leptos is super cool as well, as are the other nominees. I just really wanted to call out ChatGPT and the impact it has well outside of our little bubble of software. And for the Non-JS award, it only felt fair to give it to ChatGPT. This is a category I'm excited about for biased reasons, but also good biased reasons. This category is Diagram of the Year. This is for the diagrams I made that I'm really proud of. And I picked one, but again, I'm going to do a poll and let you guys see if you agree or disagree, because it's my content. It's only fair. Y'all have to make a pick. Nominee for Theo Diagram of the Year, number 1, is the TRPC versus GraphQL comparison chart. This one was very simple, but did very well. Super hyped on this one. Posted a few other places and it blew up there too. Really helps break down the strength of TRPC, which is in this section. And then I can fight with people who think that other sections are necessary all the time. It helped me change the direction of the conversation around GraphQL, and I'm really happy about it. Aiden said he feels like people are still confused by this. You're right. Those people are beyond help. That's the other beauty of this diagram, is that it makes it so much easier for me to know if someone will ever understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Because if I show them this diagram and they're still saying stupid shit about gRPC, they're beyond my help, and it's unreasonable to continue my engagement. It's so helpful. I love diagrams like this for that reason. If they make it so I know, like, your next reply to seeing this diagram decides whether or not I give a shit about about responding to you in the future. It's phenomenal. Nominee number 2 is the viewer monetization funnel. A lot of people have mentioned this one. I think this is a very valuable diagram. It's one of the most useful if you care about the content world and how it breaks down the different value of the different platforms and what you get from them. The core point here is that I think people go to Twitch looking for growth and they're being really stupid about it. I think people go to Twitter and TikTok looking for money. I think they're being even stupider about it. You have to understand the role of each of these platforms and how they help you grow and succeed as a creator in order to benefit from them. I see a lot of people saying they've shown this to people. I thank you. I try to as well. I think this diagram is really helpful for developers who they're not developers, for creators who are trying to figure out how to grow and are struggling because they're so focused on random bullshit. The next nominee for Diagram of the Year goes to my UI quality diagram showing how good of a user interface you can design with any of these CSS solutions. I think this one's fucking hilarious. I loved this diagram. Some people are upset about it. I don't care. I think this is very accurate. This is a great one. The next diagram nominated is the "you may be using TypeScript wrong" diagram. This one was because I was seeing a ton of bad takes around how to type your data in things like React Query, and they were pissing me off so much because people were typing the data so far away from the data. And what I drew here was trying to highlight the different places where you can attach a type to some data and how frustrating it is to see developers typing their data so far away from where things happened. Somebody asked, please tell me I have a side-by-side comparison for all. No, of course not. That's way too much work. You're significantly overestimating how much effort I put into this. The final diagram nominated for Diagram of the Year is GraphQL goes here, not here. This is a banger. I love this one. It's so simple. It does so well. And here was my reply diagram that I love. Yeah. There's a signed version of this one where I have like the bus driver mean that you're not going to tap the sign, right? Where the bus driver taps this because it's so common. Is that all of them? Oh, I do have one more. The final diagram nominated is one of my most underappreciated diagrams. This happened when Ryan Carniato was mentioning that it was a reply to one of my tweets about how I think most people who aren't feeling productivity from TypeScript are using it wrong. And he said he describes it, but after 4 years, he still isn't enjoying it. Like, he's not finding a lot of wins from TypeScript. And this is my diagram trying to explain why Ryan Carniato has a worse TypeScript experience than I do. What TypeScript does is it forces your code quality to exist within a range. It sets a new minimum, and arguably it sets a new maximum for the quality of your code. And Ryan's life is above that threshold, and my life is largely below it. This diagram is criminally underappreciated because this is when I was a nobody. It's actually on my birthday this year when I had like 1,000 followers. So no one saw this. No one cared. It's great. A lot of replies are like, you love to do these little diagrams. It's very cute. Great diagram. One of my personal favorites. But we have to pick one because that's what award shows are about. I think we should do a poll on this one though, because all of these diagrams are great and I am curious what y'all think. So let's do a quick poll. There isn't room for the Theo versus Ryan code quality. We got to drop one. I think I'm going to drop the Bootstrap versus Tailwind. It's funny, but it's not as good as Theo versus Ryan code quality. I didn't do the train tracks ones. Other people did those. I didn't do any good... Wait, no, I did one trolley problem. Fuck. That's going to be so hard to find because I didn't put that in my bookmarks. It was so good too. Wow, people really like the monetization funnel. I'm hyped on that. That's so cool. I didn't think that would be the one to win here. All the others are cool dev ones. I feel like the other ones are getting a split vote because all of the people who like the dev stuff are voting between it, but the people who like my non-dev stuff are all going for that one. But it's a really good diagram. I get it. Let me check what I nominate or what I picked for the winner. It's not what I picked for the winner. Wow, I actually picked the second least one. My winner was GraphQL Goes Here. But I feel like that's unfair when monetization funnel is slaughtering in the poll so hard. People have very different takes on this, Tom. This is interesting. People really like the monetization funnel though, so I'm gonna go update it in the doc, hopefully in a way that doesn't spoil things. Oh yeah, I can do this without spoiling because like the next category is one we already did. Cool. How many do we got left? Oh, I think we actually down to the last one. Are we really? Did I get all of these? That's it. This is the final one. The most important award of all. Somebody said Community of the Year. I wanted to do that, but it would have been too silly to just do that to give it to us. The final award, the keynote award, the most important award of all of the T3 awards is the Web Framework of the Year award. This is the thing we're all here to talk about. We're all fucking nerds. We're here to hack on and play with and embrace all of these different solutions. And I think it's important for us to sit here and reflect and think back on this last year. Think on what framework truly bested the others in 2022. This doesn't mean which one was adopted the most. It doesn't mean which one shipped the most features. It doesn't mean the one that we're most hyped on. This is the framework that we're recognizing for having the most successful 2022. And with that said, we should go over our nominations. The first nomination for Framework of the Year is React. Of course, it's React. React is so important. It is continuing to change, it's continuing to grow, it's continuing to do new, different things. Many would argue it's a library, but with the recent changes, it's going more in the direction of a framework. Same way you can always bet on JavaScript, you can always kind of bet on React. Nominee number 2 goes something a little more frameworky. Next.js, the React framework for production. The Next team has been working very hard on continuing to advance Next, continuing to change how we don't not just write code for applications, but think through our infrastructure, build our code, deploy systems, and interface between our code, our backends, our front ends, and everything between. Next really tries to change the way we ourselves frame our applications. And as such, it's as frameworky as a framework can get. The next nominee for Framework of the Year goes to Solid.js. Solid.js has been on a crazy trend this year. I've seen more and more places adopting it, more and more people excited to try it out, talk about it, ship it, and even companies starting to ship Solid.js in production. Companies I would have expected to. Solid is, without question, the most promising off-ramp from React. And a lot of its success this year isn't from any new feature they shipped or major release. It's just from being around in the right places at the right times and the deep understanding the creators and the maintainers of Solid have over the whole ecosystem. It's truly impressive to see how deeply a framework maintainer and author can understand the other solutions in the space. When I want to know about any framework, any library, anything in web dev, it's rare I can't get a great answer out of Ryan Carniato. And it really shows that he knows what he's doing as soon as you start playing with Solid. There's a reason we've seen so much adoption this year, and I'm really excited to see where Solid keeps going. The next nomination for Web Framework of the Year goes to Astro for building faster websites. Astro is the first web framework that's goal is to ship 0 JavaScript. Astro does not include almost any, if any, JavaScript in the bundles they ship unless you specifically choose to import it. And if you do, you're importing things from React, from Preact, from Solid, Svelte, wherever else, because Astro has no JavaScript runtime. It is just a way to build static sites that happens to be the best developer experience I personally have had building static sites. It's the first time I feel like the dev tools and the experience I have had in the web dev world really have caught up in more static generation, where the speed I had building with SPAs is now embraced for static site building. And yes, my tweet is still on the homepage of this fancy animation and everything. Astro's killing it. It's one of the best ways to take the knowledge you've learned in the web dev world as a dynamic single page app React dev and apply it to really performant static website creation. Super pumped. All the stuff the Astro team's doing. They've had an awesome year with their 1.0 release earlier and all the awesome adoption we've seen since. Final nominee, we can't forget about Svelte. SvelteKit 1.0 shipped this year. They had like 30 million NPM installs a week, surpassed React technically in terms of installs. Svelte had an awesome year in 2022. It's been really cool seeing how well Svelte's adoption into Vercel has gone without really hurting Svelte's development. Rich is a little quieter, but the adoption's definitely growing and the hype is unreal. Super pumped on all things Svelte and the hard work that community is doing. With that all said, we have to pick a winner. And this one was hard. I genuinely struggled a lot with this one. It was tough. But I did have to pick. And I did pick a framework out of these. And I would once again like to remind y'all that this is a personal thing. All awards are made up. These are decisions I've chosen to make because I wanted to. Before I do that, though, we're going to run our last poll of the show. So I'm going to do one more poll after this. I'm going to do one more category that I just came up with. I came up with it a little earlier, but one last category after this one. We're polling Framework of the Year. Making y'all wait. Getting every remaining view I can. And I think Next is going to do this well. No one voting for React. Lol. This one is hard. Yeah, this one is hard. I'm happy I'm not the only one who struggled. This was a tough... This was the award I started with. This was the first one on the list, and I thought about this for like a week. It was hard. It was really hard. And you'd think that after I thought about it so much, I'd have a good justification for my answer, and I don't. I gut feeled this one so hard. Stop the count? No, this count is going. We gotta get to the end here. Come on, guys. Just a few seconds left before we finally get to hear Framework of the Year, according to Theo. No way. Roy found the meme. I'll pull this up for Next. I am so hyped to see the winner because the winner of 2022 T3 Awards Web Framework of the Year goes to Solid.js. This was hard. Picking between Solid and Astro was so challenging. Both frameworks have had such a year, and it is really incredible to see. But man, Solid's the thing I want to ship right now. Astro's the thing I was shipping last year. And the amount of work that has gone into making it so I think about Solid almost every day is insane. And that's ultimately why I picked Solid. It's because of the way it's infected my brain and the way I think about wanting to ship it and how badly I want to every day. Astro wins because it solves a problem no one else did. Solid wins because it solves the problem everyone else did in a way that is so exciting that we all want to ship it. So a huge congrats to the Solid.js team. Y'all killed it this year, and I have a feeling 2023 is going to be a pretty solid year too. Huge shout out again to Astro. This isn't meant to be a snub or a comparison or Astro it's worse than Solid. In fact, they work together really well. The maintainers are all super close and have a ton of overlap too. but I do think that this was the year that Solid leveled up the most. Astro's path is certain as well, and I'm very excited to see how all of these technologies grow over the next year. Thank you all so much for taking part in the first ever T3 Awards. Sorry for the jank. Sorry for the chaos. Sorry for everything that didn't go as ideal as it should. But I am proud as fuck that I actually pulled this off so last minute. And I'm really pumped with what we did here. Thank you to all of the participants, all of the viewers, all the nominees, and all of the winners. I'm excited to see a lot of T3 awards in people's bios now, because y'all killed it and deserve the recognition. Thank you, everybody. Gonna do a little bit of post-show now, relax and hang out a bit. We got some fun stuff to talk about still. Not too much. The main show is over. Thank you all. One last vote, and I need chat to spam for a little bit so I know what to put in the poll. We need to pick the biggest upset. What award was the worst pick? What one of these do y'all think was the worst choice from me? Here's a link to all of them so y'all can scroll through. And I want to see y'all spamming chat for what you think's the worst. Fuck no, TJ deserves Sodi so hard. So hard. I'm so annoyed with these takes. If skating was the number of tricks you did year over year, then we would like competition way more. You know, don't get me to rant about skating stuff. TJ killed it and deserves a bit of attention he got him more. But the worst Theo take, honestly, that should be a nominee. I love that y'all are the ones you're most upset with are the chat votes, not me. Solid syntax and structure is surprisingly similar, yes, especially the markup side because it's just JSX, but the reactivity model is different. The syntax is nearly identical, so it'll almost be a little trippy at first, but you'll have a weird experience you're playing with Solid if you're a seasoned React dev. Yes, my link shows winners. You have to unfold it because I don't want to accidentally spoil winners. So each of them has the little arrow you can click to see the winner underneath. Put a lot of effort into this doc. This is the one thing I did for this. A lot of you are saying least promising VIP. That's fair. Okay, I'm seeing some consistent patterns. Let's pick the ones. Most upsetting W. We have most snubbed. We have out of orbit. Least promising. Feel happy I picked Bun for that. Worst name. I think these are fair. Anybody have one they really disagree with that should be in this list? Diagram? Oh, I should have put SWR in worst name. I was 50-50 on that. But SWR itself isn't the worst name. It's everything inside of it that is. There are your polls. Or there's your poll. What's the most upsetting W? Kisa, you won. You losing is the thing that upset the most people, it seems. I'll give you the vote. Congrats, Kisa. Out of orbit meme was number 2, so that's the real winner, but Kisa not winning anything. Congrats, you won something in the post show. You know, I was joking about this being 4 hours, but this is actually 3.5 hours. Fucking Christ. I did it. Why the fuck did I do this? That was so much work. Holy shit. And now I have to go make thumbnail faces. I'm so dead. Happy New Year, all. Content's a lot of work. Can I be done? I'm gonna be done. I need to go find some food. Thank you all. Happy New Year. See y'all next year.